Welcome back again. So we're trucking along through a working week. In fact, it's Friday, so there goes the working week. But we are back on Matt and Tracy's beautiful Chevy truck, among other things. So let's just have a quick lap around. You guys have seen this one before, so it's back for the next round, which is going to include a hell of a lot of work. But literally just starting to work out the truck bed situation onto the 1 tonner chassis. So the cutting's already started, but it's going to work out well. The length and wheel position and everything's actually pretty good on the Holden chassis, so that's going to help us out. On the black truck, sort of weekends and things like that. Just finished the fuel line situation. It's a bit hard to tell, but that stainless tube running left to right is to balance the tanks out, and then our braided lines there up to the filters, supply line, return line back up to the tank. That stuff's all happening there. What else happened? Everything this week. So Brendan's been continuing on with the HJ Monaro, into quarters, boot fit up, some repairs along the gutter line and things like that, reshaping the dog legs, reshaping the quarter and the dog legs. The rear spares sections aren't exactly the right shape to original, but probably better off than starting with nothing. So that one's just, that'll be steady, just keep chipping away through the year. And then in the booth, which actually has nothing to do with paint, the car's just staying safe while I'm awaiting some parts. Good customer of ours unfortunately lost a lifter in his Walkinshaw improved Caprice. So I've just done a Crow Cam package in that engine there. The cylinder heads are just down at West Coast, getting serviced and getting them ready to go. So that engine's been apart and back together this week, which kind of sounds crazy when you say it out loud. But anyway, that's what's going on here. So whether this is just a short update video or this is the start of our next one, not sure yet. So we'll just see how it plays out. It'll either be a really short one or the next long one. G'day again. Well, we are back cruising through the working week on the 48 Chevy truck. Sort of had in my head that this was going to work out, but I haven't seen the car. I'm not sure how long, a fair while, but on the initial teardown, I did measure the wheelbase and everything and was always sort of the opinion that this should work out. Well, let's have a look. It did. So using the original bedside components, I was always a little bit nervous, obviously with the Holden 1 tonner chassis. It is wider, so had to do some trimming in the wheel arches and things like that to ensure that we can get plenty of wheel and tyre on there once it's all said and done. Was able to get the right amount of clearance to the cab to allow for the front, well, tailgate, but you know, the front of the bed. So that's going to work out. We've got the right drop on the front of the mudguard over the chassis so that when I make a custom running board, the two fenders will be at the same height, and the running board and infill panel coming down here will cover up the whole chassis and you won't see any of that. So that's going to work out mint. What else is happening? So Brendo's been here for the past couple of days and just continuing to rough in on the GDS. So he's been working on quarter panels, roof, and the boot area. So that's all coming along. What else is happening? Oh, the VK. So my VK is on the hoist. and I'm going to put 2 weekends into that because that's all it needs to swap out the T5 that's in that for another one that I've got, because the one that we put in there is a little bit on the noisy side, which is a bit of a shame, but at the time didn't really have the budget to go right through it. Anyway, so we've got a good one now ready to go in. I've got to do a front brake line modification, and then we can finish putting that through the engineering process and get some license plates and get on the road. So that's pretty cool. Well, the sun's rising on another day here, start of another week. Doesn't really feel like last week ended, to be honest. We've got more cars rocking up, more work going on. Saturday was huge. We gave the paint booth a really good clean out because we've been using that so much lately. So what have we got left over in here? This Saturday did a bit more work to our F100 project. We got all the insides of the doors prepped and in primer. So the door gaps and everything now are ready for colour when it comes to it. We've got some polyester primer on the hood. What else have we got going on that I can show you? Let's have a look. So the Monaro, bodywork's coming along on the Monaro. The rear quarters and the roof were put into polyester primer towards the end of last week. Actually might have even been early in that week. So that's all ready to be blocked out now. 90% of that will end up on the ground. It was just some little imperfections that needed tidying up after all the metalwork and rust repairs. We've got a 50s Mustang on the hoist for a variety of jobs. I will be working on the Pro Buggy this week. Come hell or high water, I'm going to clean that down. I've got a bench over there cleared off, ready to go. Get some work done on that. The work continues on the 48 Chevy truck. We've done a whole heap of modifications to the bed to fit the Holden chassis. I made a fully custom tailgate from scratch. That's all been body worked, repaired, polyestered, blocked out, and now is in 2K primer. So we can start getting some colour on all those bits and pieces shortly. So I reckon that'll just wrap up that messy little video that I've just done. I keep trying to, get stuff filmed and that during the week, but it just doesn't seem to be working out at the moment. The cars just arrive faster than we can get them done, and we just got to keep pressing on. So yeah, during the week setting up cameras and things like that just hasn't been happening, and the last couple of Saturdays there's been 3 or 4 of us working here on various projects, so sort of the coordination of that and working myself. Yeah, the videos just sort of haven't really been happening, but thanks for hanging in there with us. We do look forward to putting out some fresh content soon, because Easter, about 6 weeks time, heading to South Australia to do a revive and drive on an old Ford truck, another one, and I'm going to film the hell out of that, so hang out for that one. Take it easy.